Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Noosphere podcast. My name is Nathan, aka the Conquistador, and I'm joined today by Dan, aka Little Willie. At least it wasn't Coca-Cola. That's extra sticky. Sticky Vicky. Speaking of Sticky Vicky, what have you been doing this week? Yeah. I didn't know where I was going with that, to be honest. Yeah, so I have no idea. No, I've completed cutting up mountains. That's what I've achieved this afternoon. They're a little bit because I've had to stack 3 sections of foam together. There's like lines that I need to fill with something, maybe PVA glue, probably not green stuff because I don't think the texture will match, but I'll probably jam some PVA glue in there. But should have some pretty hefty fucking mountains to go on a future game board. Yeah, today we're talking about the shit that we should have been talking about the last 2 weeks, but Magic the Gathering happened repeatedly, and when the Minotaurs call, you cannot ignore them. Yeah, with a flurry of horns. Anyway, the Year of Chaos has begun. It's 6 months late, but it's here. This is true. And they didn't specifically say that it was Chaos Space Marines, or indeed Chaos. They just said Chaos. And it kind of has been Chaos. Yeah. Wait a minute. Hang on a fucking minute. Hang on a minute. There we go. There we go. I don't know why that's what the fuck? Ah. 1 second. Let me just say something. Anything. There we go. There we go. Sorry, for some reason Discord wasn't like picking up quite so well. Yeah, so aside from Chaos Space Marine Codex, we've had the Balanced Data Slate and we've had Chapter Approved 2022. Which one do you want to start with?
I don't know. Which one do you want to start with?
Let's start with Chapter Approved, which was the points changes. We'll probably spend 20 minutes on each subject. Not anything covering everything, but we'll just we'll chew the grass, or chew the fat rather. What struck out to you?
I found it interesting from the perspective of it seems like for some factions they went after the points, and for some factions they went for their mechanics.
Yeah.
In the balanced data slate, and I thought that was very interesting.
Yes.
I prefer them doing that rather than just going, "There you go, you'll get points drops and you'll get points hikes, and that's it." I think most of the points changes were warranted. Literally the only one that made 0 sense to me is the warp spiders for the Eldar going up by 2 points.
Yeah.
While every other aspect warrior went up by 1.
I don't think it was just warp spiders that made no sense. Like, why did Morgan Ra go up?
All of the Phoenix Lords went up by 10 points.
But he did,
except for Baharoth.
But no one played Morgan Ra.
No, like it's not horrible. Like I think if you took him in a list,
he'd be okay.
You wouldn't regret bringing him in. It would do some damage.
Yeah, it just seemed a bit mean.
Yeah, it's one of those. Like I guess why they did it, but yeah, warp spiders going up by 10 points. By 2 points. A model is pretty wild. Again, the thing that I was hoping to see and we didn't is any kind of changes to Gene Stealer cults. Seems like Games Workshop forgot that was a faction.
Yeah,
it's bizarre, and of course, no changes to Chaos Demons, which again, I think they're just pretending that they don't exist at this point.
I don't believe that the Chaos Demons Codex is around the corner. I know everyone's been saying,
I
oh,
don't
maybe they
think
didn't
so.
get any points changes because their codex is next. I don't think that's accurate because Imperial Guard have been getting an awful lot of leaks and articles on Warhammer Community, and Chaos Demons have had quite literally fuck all. Usually they would start up the engine on Warhammer Community for a faction when their codex is coming up, and there's been nothing. So
yeah, it's pretty bizarre.
I think the changes required for Chaos Demons are so vast that they can't be done in either a data slate or by points alone. Because their profiles are fucking ancient, aren't they?
They are very beginning of 8th edition.
Yeah. The entire codex data sheets are just really old. Really, really old. And I don't think a data slate or points changes will help them. The only thing points changes will do is turn them into a horde army, and they'll still do no damage because they've got no AP on anything. And data slate, like what the fuck would you do with a data slate? Here's 6 extra CP compared to everyone else, so you can still field the shit lists you were playing before.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Do you want to know my hot take on the whole chaos thing? Something tells me that they're not gonna get a codex this edition. Like, I legit, so it feels like they're trying to phase out chaos to me, at least from 40k.
What, demons specifically?
Chaos demons specifically, yes.
And leave them in fantasy.
Yes.
Or Sigma, or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Because every single chaos demon in 40k is playable in Sigma, isn't it?
Yes, and it's only like, we don't even get all of them. There's a bunch that are not playable in 40k that are playable in. So that's what I mean. And if you look at the packaging, all of the packaging for Chaos Demons is Age of Sigma.
Yeah.
None of them have the 40k. So yeah, that's my impression, because literally they've done nothing with them for years now. It baffles me.
The only thing they got was Disciples of Be'lakor, and that didn't
Yes.
help them at all. It just made people take Be'lakor, but they didn't take his Army of Renown. They just dumped Be'lakor in a Monster Mash Demons list because he was good. That was it. That's all they achieved with that.
Yeah, again, that comes back to Demons just having pretty janky rules.
Yeah. I think the change that shocked me most, aside from some of the Eldar changes, was Commissar Yarrick going up in points.
I mean, he was a bit too spicy.
Like, it was such a weird... Like, of all the points changes, Guard got loads of point reductions, loads of people got point reductions, the overpowered armies got massive point hikes. And then just in the sea of madness, there was just Yarrick there, like, who just went up 10 points for...
I swear.
I don't understand.
I swear to God, the people that do the balance at Games Workshop, they bring in their personal vendettas. Some sorry ass scrub got his ass beat by a guy playing Yarrick, and he came to work next day and went, you know what, man, fuck Yarrick, I'm hiking his points up.
Yeah.
Take that, Steve. Want to see you bring Yarrick again to our next game. I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure that's what's happening.
Aside from reroll ones, I think the only thing he does is make Imperial Guard shoot better against orcs, and orcs specifically.
I can't have that.
I think that's it. I don't believe he even has like a fancy warlord trait or anything. And you know how most characters get like a pseudo relic.
Yeah, he was mediocre at best.
His pseudo relic isn't anything. He doesn't have a relic. He has a power claw, but it's just
that's it. He's got a power claw.
It's just a power claw.
Which in itself is pretty special, right?
His warlord trait
has a power claw.
Yeah, his warlord trait is this guy's a commissar, so he can't do orders. But if you give him a warlord trait, he can do orders, and that's it.
Oh, wow.
It's a very strange, very... Yeah, here it is. Reroll hit rolls are 1. Reroll all hit rolls against orcs within 6 inches. All right, Chief.
Nice, bro.
Yeah, strange. There was a few other wacky bits. What was there? Though honestly, I
Few.
think a lot of people
What?
that were expecting was for A, Custodian's points to go up, but B, which we'll discuss later in the data slate, for them to get their fucking obsec back on their infantry. But it didn't happen.
No.
Didn't happen.
No, I mean, Blood Angels got like a wild
Oh, that
buff
was
for no reason.
yeah,
Because they're
yeah,
already like one of the better Space Marine chapters, and now they're just
the best.
far beyond
They're just the best
everyone
now.
else.
They're literally the best.
Absolutely.
The point changes they got didn't make any sense because they were point changes to units that were already good.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've noticed. The same thing happened with Admic, right? They decreased the points
Of
to
stuff that
their
was
best
already
models.
good. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which I was very surprised by. So the people don't know the Rust Stalkers, the Scarian Rust Stalkers for the Adeptus Mechanicus went down by 1 point each, and the Cerberus Raiders went down by 1 point each, which is pretty wild because they already auto includes pretty much. Some people would swear by Sicarian Rust Stalkers being the best unit in the Codex.
Yeah.
After our game yesterday, I
Holy
would agree.
shit. Yeah, they
They
were
mint.
crackers.
They
They
are
punched
terrifying.
twice above their point cost. No, absolutely.
They are terrifying.
One-shotting warp talons. It's 10 of them.
Like it was nothing. They wouldn't
One-shotting
even buff
possessed.
that much.
What?
Yeah, they're pretty
What?
good. I mean, they weren't even that juiced up, to be honest.
Oh.
Could have given them like exploding sixes and melee and all sorts. Yeah, they're pretty juicy. They're very juicy.
Speaking of things that got point decreases and shouldn't have, sisters. So
yeah,
they got point decreases to a bunch of models that I agreed with, like the Immolator, the Exorcist, and the Castigator. I think that was cool. No one takes their tanks. Their tanks are kind of cool, but their points are just a little bit weird. And I understand it's difficult to find a place in Bloody Rose because Bloody Rose is currently the only good order. And I expected the balanced data slate to maybe buff the other orders, but it didn't. But they reduced the points cost on fucking Seraphim and Zephyrim for some reason, and Celestian Sacrosancts for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of understand Sacrosancts because Sacrosancts got repeatedly nerfed, predominantly because of the bodyguard rule. They were one of the main offenders. And they were like, oh, maybe if we make them more expensive, people are not going to abuse the crap out of a broken mechanic. But it turned out not to be the answer.
Yeah.
But they are still absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
And even more so now with the points decreases.
I think everybody unanimously agrees that Sisters are now the one and only S tier faction in the entire game. After the points changes and after balanced data slates, they're now just crackers. But at the same time, I feel sorry for Sisters players who don't want to play Bloody Rose because all of their other orders are just
unfortunately
shit.
pretty bad.
Just shit. Like, they're good, but they just don't have the units to, like, make them good. Like, Argent Shroud and Ebon Chalice were sort of, they're probably your second and third best, maybe even Valorous Heart. But they just don't have...
They just don't have the synergy that Bloody Rose has with the
Army
whole...
Renown.
Yeah, the whole codex.
I'd like to see Army Renowns go. They need to die. They need to stop.
It's just an additional.
They just make armies either overpowered
crap.
or they do nothing for the game whatsoever.
Yeah, that's it. It's just an additional layer of rules. It's kind of annoying, and I think 40k does have a bit of, or 9th edition, should I say, has a bit of an issue with rules bloat.
Favoritism.
So adding layers and layers.
It's just favoritism for a single faction in a single sub faction within a faction. It's like taking Space Marines and giving Blood Angels an Army of Renown.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, like, in certain situations when they've done it right, it's pretty nice because it kind of offers an alternative to the meta. So again, AdMech is an interesting example with the
Cohort. Yeah.
no, not the cohort, the army of renown for. I guess it's not an army of renown, is it? It's just the extra stuff they gave to Metallica.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that was pretty cool, right? Because Metallica became a bit of a toolbox. So it's pretty cool. And of course, I'll be sad to see a veteran cohort go when it does. And I can understand why people dislike it. It's kind of crackers. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. I mean, when you have to put down about 10 cards containing buffs on the battlefield just to remember what unit has what, it's time to stop.
I mean, that's just AdMech. I think if I wasn't playing veteran cohort, it would be exactly the same thing, just different buffs. That's just how the army works. Personally, I quite like the gameplay style, right? Where you gotta be sort of very tactical with where you position yourself to give units to the buffs to the unit that is gonna benefit the most on the next turn and stuff. It's interesting tactically, but I can understand why the opponent finds it frustrating.
Oh, of course, Necrons.
Fucking I mean, shit, yeah, Necrons.
Those guys made out like fucking bandits. Everything went down. Everything went down. Yeah. Fucking, they had a fire sale.
Everything is cool.
GW said to Necron players, "You've got half an hour to grab every Necron model you can, and for every model you pick up, we're going to drop their points by 50, and we're going to give them core." And so they picked up everything.
They just
everything. Catan went down. Wild. Silent King went down to 420.
Blaze it.
Yeah, 420 blaze it. Oh wait, no, I think it went down from 420 to 400. I can't remember.
Yes.
Fucking everything went down. All vehicles got core. Silent King got core, so you can resurrect Menhirs, but you can only resurrect Menhirs if you have Illuminor Caesaris, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Caesaris. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Nice model.
Fucking Doom Scythe with core, Tesseract Vaults with core, Monoliths with core.
I think it's a great example. And this was a tangent that I'm gonna go on now, but it's something that's been sort of rattling in my skull for the last since the data slate came about, and I think it just proves that their little experiment with a core keyword is a failure, and I don't understand why they felt the need to add it.
Yep.
It's another additional layer. I don't know what their intention with it. It feels like they tried to add it as a little tuning knob, right?
Core as a mechanic was designed specifically to stop Iron Hands and Tau and various other armies from putting a character in a big triangle formation with 15 vehicles and just standing there and blasting people off the board.
Sure, but that doesn't work. Look at Imperial Guard.
That's true.
You can have all the vehicles. Imperial Guard probably have some of the best vehicles in the game at the moment, I'd argue. In fact, I think they do, because no one else really brings vehicles to the same amount as Imperial Guard. They still can't play the missions, right?
Well, they give up secondaries.
So it's whatever. Yeah. I don't, because that's the thing, right? I think they were afraid of that sort of castle play style that was very prevalent in 8th edition. Well, because of the way the missions work, and I'll give props to GW, I think the missions are really good, and the secondaries are good for most part, right? Yeah. In terms of the way they change the gameplay. But yeah, like that kind of castle style army just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So they tried to solve a problem that they've already solved.
With the missions.
Yeah, it's just bizarre.
Yeah.
I hope it goes in 10th edition.
I don't like core as a function. You know what really hurts my soul, and I think everyone would agree with me. I don't think there's a single person on this fucking planet that would disagree with me. When a fucking character rolls a 1, and you can't re-roll it.
Bro, I swear when we play, characters are cursed. Every time.
Yeah.
They have the hands down,
The most
highest
useless.
percentage.
Yeah.
The highest percentage of whiffs.
Those
is
motherfuckers
characters.
just roll ones.
It's
Every
like,
fucking
I
time.
have 4 shots, 2 ones. Great. That's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, not being able to reroll ones on your characters that actually fucking matter. On top of not being able to take any fucking relics and warlord traits anymore because you've got no fucking CP. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's bizarre.
just hurts my soul. Aside from that, obviously as a ex now Custodes player, they got nerfed. Obviously, they got point increases on their literally only viable build with the dreadnoughts. And obviously, Trajan went up. I agree, Trajan should have gone up, not to 200 points, if I'm being honest. Dreadnoughts went up, fine, but fuck me, drop something else. Nobody plays any data sheets as Custodes, except
That'd be
Dreadnoughts.
nice if the bikes had like a 5 points decrease or something like that. That would be pretty spicy.
I don't think they should decrease the points on the bikes. People are still bringing one squad occasionally at tournaments. I think they just need to like either decrease the points on other models or just give infantry specifically OBSEC back, and then suddenly people will play Terminators and Wardens and Venetari again.
Would be great to see. Would be great to see Terminators on the field.
Yeah,
I feel like it's such a core thing to Custodes, right?
Yeah, because at the moment,
dude in jacked armor suits.
Yeah, at the moment, there's nothing viable in the entire codex apart from Trajan and Dreadnoughts. And Sagittarium, obviously, people are bringing Sagittarium, and that's literally it.
Yeah, it went back to how it was in 8th edition, where
literally 8th,
all your good units are
resin. Yeah,
it's great. I love it.
Yeah,
that's why I want bikes to come back. Okay.
You know what? I would like them to make Hurricane Bolters not dog shit.
What, you don't like 401? Come on.
You know what I think they should do? They should increase the points cost of the salvo launchers to 10, but decrease the base bike cost by 5. So the salvo launcher still costs the same amount, 85 or 90, whatever it is. But if you run them bare bones without salvo launchers and just take Hurricanes, then they're cheaper.
I would rather them be the same cost, but make them an actual option as an anti-horde.
Yeah, I guess. But AP1's pointless. Even if they bumped them to AP1, it would be pointless because Armor of Contempt. And if they bumped them to AP2,
call
they'd
them
be
something
overpowered.
else. Why not? Why not AP2? If Thousand Suns can have AP2 bolters for no reason, so can Custodes. I mean, shit. They're meant to have the best technology in the goddamn Imperium, and all they got is a shitty bolter. Come on, man.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for the fucking chapter approved.
Nah, there's one more. There's one more. There's one more faction.
Oh.
That absolutely. If there were 2 factions that stole the show, right? One of them is one of them was Necrons, but the other one is Death God. Holy shit!
Oh yeah.
Death God.
I feel sorry for anyone that feels obligated to play WYSIWYG, because you're about to snap off the arms of every single Plague Marine you own.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's an interesting conversation, actually. Yeah. Is this odd choice, because they've done it a couple of times now, is their choice of buffing is all upgrades are free.
Yeah, like Imperial Guard. Now, natively, every single squad of 5 Plague Marines can take a flail, 2-handed axe, 2 plasma guns, 2 blight launchers, and 2 other 100 melee weapons. Suddenly, 2,000 points of just Plague Marines, kind of scary.
Kind of clap cheeks. Yeah. It should be right. That's the thing that I like that idea, and yet it doesn't feel like the right thing to do for some reason.
Just yeah.
I like the idea of having these dudes with different loadouts. It's annoying on the tabletop.
Yeah. And
also, can you build all of the options from the box? You can, can't you? You can build it from the kit. Yep. As long as that's the case, then fine. Yeah. Why not?
It's all weapons from the kit. It's just you can equip one of each now, pretty much, and two special range weapons.
Yeah,
It's weird.
one for each 5.
Yeah.
And the champion itself can take a weapon.
Yeah. They've done the same thing with the Chaos Terminators. They can build what's in the box, but not certain things anymore for some reason. So they can take like two multi-melters, one multi-melter, one fist, or three fists. They can have 3 fists. It's fucked. I can't remember. It's weird what Chaos Terminators can take. There's like 7 sentences of rules on what Chaos Terminators can take because of the weapon loadouts on the sprue. But they all cost points. They're not free, so it's a bit
pretty
weird.
creamy. But for the people that don't know, so Death Guard, on top of making all the Plague Marines have 3 upgrades. What is it? Plague Burst Crawlers went down in points.
Mortarion went down.
Mortarion went down by a good amount, right? He went from 490 to 440, was it?
Yeah.
Or something like that, which is big. And I think he's gonna see a lot more play. That's quite the point decrease.
100%, yeah. I think a lot of those big scale models are going to see more play on the tabletop, except Magnus.
Poor Magnus.
Yeah, fucker just can't catch a break. Abaddon can only take 3 wins a turn. Magnus, fuck that guy. Let him get one-shotted by railguns. No problem.
I think with Magnus, they're just afraid. Like it feels like they don't know how to balance him.
Yeah.
Because he's
got wings.
Psyker,
he's the most powerful psyker in the game, and he's huge.
Well, he's the most powerful psyker in the game, but is he?
Yeah.
It's one of those where does he still have +2 to his psychic test?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so he's still pretty juicy, but it's not like his psychic. I think it's at least his psychic spells used to do more damage. I don't know. He's a weird one. He hits really hard in melee for some reason.
Yeah.
It's just an odd.
Yeah,
he's kind of guy.
He's 16 AP4 flat 3 damage in melee. He's fucking cracked in melee for some reason.
Yeah.
And he's got 18 wounds, a 3-up save, and a 4-up invuln.
Yeah.
Can't suffer perils, all that jazz.
Can you still bump him up to a 3-up invuln, or is that capped at 4?
I think it's capped at 4. Pretty sure it's capped at 4.
Sadness.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, why does he have a 3-up save? What the fuck?
Horn nipples or nipple.
Wait,
horns,
what the fuck? Why does he have a 3-up save?
Nipple horns don't provide that much defense, dude.
Oh, so does Mortarion. I thought they would have had a 2-up.
Terminator's got better armor than them.
That's fucking bizarre.
It is really odd, but they got a 4-up invuln. Yeah, it's one of those.
Let me just check something.
Go ahead.
Abaddon has a 2-up. Abaddon.
No, he's a special kind of boy.
He's half the size. Why has he got a 2-up and those stupid cunts have only got a 1-up? Let me check fucking the Silent King. What is going on? He's got a 3-up. What the fuck? So, alright. Abaddon, who's, like as tall as my index finger, has got a 2-up save. Meanwhile, the biggest chonkers in the universe have a 3-up. Alright. Okay. Fair enough.
Don't worry about it.
It's fucking strange. Anyway, before I lose my mind, the fucking balanced data slate. Nids got whacked more in points than they did in the data slate. They just made the data slate shit so that you have to have your warlord on the battlefield in order to get your
synapse
stuff, which means people can't take the broodlord with wings or whatever it was called. Well, they can take it, but they can't charge it into their opponent's face because otherwise they lose their synapse, which is basically what they were doing before.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah, there was a few changes, but nothing too major.
No, not to Tyranids.
I think the actually no, there was one major change to Tyranids, and that's their the weird evolution choices or whatever. They can't change those at the start of the game,
Yeah, it's now in the army list.
which means they can't just
Adapt.
always adapt to your opponent every
Yeah.
time and have the perfect counter to every army
Yep.
all the time. So that's pretty good. If
Oh,
Chaos Knights can't have it,
and your
neither.
Broodlord has to be your Warlord if it's in your list as well.
Yeah,
I believe.
think so. So
Only other faction that I can recall getting absolutely shafted was Harlequins.
oh, they got gutted, like beyond
Both
gutted.
dark and light got changed? Or was it just dark?
Both dark and light got changed, and the luck of the laughing
Oh,
gods.
that was it. They can't generate.
Absolutely no.
They don't automatically get 3, is that correct?
Yeah, that's it. So they don't get the 3 baseline at
They
2,000
just get
points.
the ones that they roll.
You just gotta roll for
dice,
some
yeah.
dice.
I agree with that change. It felt deeply unfair.
It's one of those. It was adding reliability to a
having
faction that was
6 auto pass dice a turn was just
don't think you had. It's not auto passes.
6s.
It's not auto pass. It's no, it's not. It's reroll.
Oh, reroll. Sorry, yeah. 6 free CP though. Like, come on.
No, don't get me wrong. It was pretty powerful. I think I would have rather it went to 2 maybe baseline, or 1 if they really felt it particularly mean. But in combination with the nerfing of dark, right? So now dark used to make it so when your clowns died, they fought on death.
Yeah.
Now on a 4-up, instead they just do a mortal wound for each model that died, which is pretty shit. And light used to have, was it when you were more than 12 inches away, they had hits of 1 to 3 would automatically fail.
Now it's 18.
No, now it's now it's inches.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty harsh nerfs. I think people are looking at Twilight now, which is, I always kind of like Twilight, right? 1 extra attack.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. The AP from Dark is still useful, I think, because their basic weapons are AP -1.
Yeah, and they need that AP boost.
Yeah, they have pretty low AP weapons.
It's so fucked. The meta is so weird because everyone complains about Iron Contempt and everyone says, oh, weapons are useless against Iron Contempt, all this other jazz. There are no Armor of Contempt armies actually like winning tournaments except Sisters. But you're forced to build around it to get to those top tables.
You got to keep them in check. You say that, but all of us, we're gonna see a lot of fucking Blood Angels.
Oh fuck yeah, Blood Angels are gonna
see a lot of Blood Angels coming out.
Can you imagine? Like, I would love to see Games Workshop put together a match of Blood Angels against any melee Chaos Space Marine army, and just to see the discrepancy between the two. Because holy shit. The CSM Codex is built around melee. It's got garbage shooting. Even their secondaries are built around melee. And just the difference between Space Marine melee and Chaos Space Marine melee is galling.
It's pretty bad, and it's just Sanguinary Gods.
Yep. And
have such a dumb profile. It's just, why do they have a 2-up save?
2-up save. Why? They get 7,000 attacks on the charge. They get reroll +1 to wound on the charge.
They just mince everything.
Yep.
Any and everything.
It's all AP3.
Yeah, they just got like the perfect loadout, right?
Yeah.
Axes, swords,
and they're -1 to hit natively.
Yeah, it's wild.
And they get rerolls or something or extra attacks just for being in range of the Warlord, not even from the Warlord.
Yeah, it's bananas.
Yeah. It is. You know what? Shadowkeeper's Custodies, my dude.
I've been saying this for years. Ever since it came out, I've been a proponent of Shadowkeepers. Nobody listens to me.
Shadowkeepers against CSM. Holy shit, that would lock CSM down so hard.
Yeah, -1 attack.
Poor fucking World Eaters. Their entire existence would become irrelevant against Shadowkeepers. We should play that match. Actually, no, we shouldn't, because I don't want to play that match. I don't want to do that. Yeah, it's fucking cracked. I can't remember.
Good.
Can't remember much else from the day. It's like, oh, Imperial Guard fucking vehicles got armor and contempt,
Yeah,
including Baneblades, which was kind of cool.
Pretty wild.
So now their artillery, which was already the best in the game, is now harder to kill. Their tank commanders, already best tanks in the game, are harder to kill. On top of their 2-up save, and Baneblades just
on top of their toughness save.
Yep, Baneblades just might be fucking viable. They just might be fucking viable because they got points dropped by about 20 points, and their sponsons went down by 10 points. So you can now bring a Baneblade or a Shadow Sword, and you'll be saving yourself about 50, 60, 70 points. And it has a 2... Oh, wait. Does it have a 2-up now? Or is it a 3-up? No, I think it's a 3-up. Baneblades.
I think it's still a 3-up,
yeah,
isn't it?
But they do have Armor and Contempt. And I think you can give them a 2-up with one of their fucking tank cases. It's called Hull Down Deployment, but it can't move. But it's such a huge model, it doesn't need to move, I guess.
Can't even deploy it half the time.
That's true, yeah. Yeah. Maybe that would be a thing to try. I wouldn't mind flexing my Imperial Guard at some point. Just for fun.
I would mind.
Yeah, I know you would mind. It's fine, you don't have to play. I'll play against the Blood Angels and we'll see what happens.
To be honest, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind having a crack at Imperial Guard.
Yeah. They're still shit. Still shit. I don't think giving them armor contempt on the vehicles is going to do a fat load of difference.
What other changes have been made? AdMech got buffed.
They got all of their nerfs unnerfed.
Almost. The only one that's still standing is the change to the
Radium.
The radium weapon strat. They reduced the cost of it, right? So it's no longer 2 CP, but it's still auto wounding on 5s rather than 4s, which is fine. I'm not gonna lie.
After our game yesterday, I'm glad they didn't.
Honestly, like, I think in Space Marines you don't care that much, right? Because remember that rad weapons are AP0, so
still
a bunch might. Yeah, a bunch of them will go through, but and they're much shorter range as well.
That's true.
It's whatever. Range is still better. Like,
oh god, yeah. With the fucking
now that they
galvanic volley fire.
Galvanic volley fire got reversed as well, so it's now back to rapid fire 2 rather than heavy 3 as it was changed. Yeah. The Iron Strider Ballistari, the Chicken Walkers, got core back. And I'm not gonna lie, they were very underwhelming yesterday.
You had no vehicles to shoot.
It's not even that. They could barely kill fucking Space Marines. It just felt kind of bad, to be honest. I was not impressed.
I think against any other army, they'd be fine.
Maybe.
You just didn't have targets. Like,
I guess.
Like, for reference for everybody, like, hearing, you were shooting them at 10-man squads of Possessed and 10-man squads of Terminators.
Yeah, but you'd still expect them to kill, like, 3 to 4 dudes, but they just still didn't.
Yeah.
That was the... Like, I killed maybe 1 or 2 guys.
You were hitting on 3s and winning on 3s because of my T5.
Hitting on 2s, winning on 2s. On, against the normal Berserkers.
Oh, yeah. But with that AP3 and then Armor Contempt, yeah.
AP4.
Oh. AP4.
Because within half range.
Yes, of course, yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
It still felt kind of underwhelming.
Yeah.
And keep in mind that, like, a unit of 3 Chicken Walkers is, 255 points.
True.
They're not cheap. So it's whatever.
Yeah, your Rust Stalkers and your Rangers massively overkilled compared to them.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
But like I said, it was an infantry heavy list. They were
Yeah.
never going to be particularly efficient.
True, true.
The balanced data slate changes? I can't think of any other than everything got core for
Nothing big.
Necrons.
I don't think anyone. Yeah, obviously Necron's got the big buffs. Everyone else was kind of chill, right? No changes to Space Marines.
No changes to demons. No changes to GSC.
No, Tau got some points decreases. Sorry, points increases. They
On their
got
plasma,
pretty.
yeah.
Yeah, they got hurt pretty bad on point. Besides that, I think it was pretty much.
Not a lot happened
Right.
in the data slate. Just like core for Necrons and a nerfs, few targeted nerfs here and there, and then unnerving loads of AdMech stuff. Everything else was sort of in the points, and also in the mission packs. The new
Yeah, that was the
secondaries,
biggest, the real big
because
shakeup. Is
shitloads of factions got their secondaries nerfed. I'm trying to think who got their secondaries nerfed.
a lot of factions like
Yeah.
Space Marines.
Thousand Suns
Like-
got side grades, weird side grades. So you still kind of want to take some of them, but some of them you only take if the enemy has psychers. It's weird.
The Drukhari ones got nerfed pretty hard.
Imperial Guard secondaries, one of them doesn't actually work because they've worded this sentence wrong. Yeah, so it's the one where all of your troops have to be within range of an officer. And the way they've written it, they've said that the officer is allowed to be in a vehicle for the purposes of the order of the range.
Yeah.
But it also says elsewhere in that secondary that your infantry squads have to be within range of an infantry character, and it can't be in a vehicle. so it doesn't. So basically, you can't put officers or infantry in vehicles in transports at all.
Nice.
Otherwise, you won't score your secondary, which is a little bit weird. It makes because I like chimeras. I like to run troops in chimeras because obviously they die instantly.
That's their job.
Just
what
fucking
about?
weird. No, I mean, yeah, but you know, chimeras move fast and you can charge them into stuff and all that jazz.
Wasn't now that you were talking about troops, and didn't they change the wording for what they call the stormtroopers, so you can actually
Yes,
stormtroopers. That was big.
Tempest Scions now get Hammer of the Emperor, so auto wounding on 6s to hit.
That's pretty huge.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that is pretty cool. I can see a 2K Scions list being a pain in the dick.
Expensive to build.
You say that, but I actually built a 2,000 point Scions list when I was considering fielding 2 Valkyries. And if you buy 5 start collecting boxes, £45 each. So it's like 250 quid.
Them for 45 quids anymore. It's still like
250 quid. You can build a 2,000 point Scions list, but then you have to throw in 2 Valkyries at 30 quid each, so like 300 quid, I guess, to build a full 2K.
Valkyries are not 30 quid, dude.
I got mine pretty cheap on eBay.
Yeah, you got yours on eBay, but that doesn't count. I think they're like 50 quid minimum.
I certainly wouldn't pay that for them.
Yeah, let me have a look. I'm pretty sure Valkyries are pretty expensive because it's a big model.
But no, Scions drop force with 3 HQs, 2 Valkyries, a shitload of Taurox primes because you can bring as many as you like because they're dedicated transports.
Yeah, Valkyries
load them all out. Okay, load them all out with the Gatling guns and the heavy volley guns. Bring a shitload, as many command squads as you can field in a battalion. We're all loaded out with melter or plasma, and then just thousands of squads.
Expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it a kit of Tempesta Scions is 26 quid.
Yeah, but you buy the start collecting sets.
Yeah, it's a lot of deads.
No, it's not.
Oh, you're gonna use what? You're gonna use all 5 Taurus Prime?
Yes. God, yes.
Bro, you can't even shoot out them.
You don't need to.
They're just there to.
So you load all your troops up into the. You load all your troops up into the Taurox Primes when you deploy. and then you just immediately move out.
I guess,
Your
yeah, because you
Taurox
can just
Primes
come out.
are T6, 10 wounds, 3 up armor save with Armor of Contempt, because they're vehicles in IG. And you load them up with the Gatling Cannon, and you run them as the +1 AP. And then your entire army is +1 AP. They have hotshot volley guns, which are 4 -2/1, but they become -3/1.
Are they 4 -2/1?
Yep.
I thought they were 3 -2/1.
Nope. Oh, not the volley guns. The volley guns on the Taurox Primes are 4 shots at 4 -2/1. The Tempestus Scions are 3 -2/1, but it becomes 3 -3/1. But you put a hotshot volley gun in every squad.
Yeah. Don't you just take lots of plasma with them? Though?
Yep, plasma and melter. You put the melter in the aircraft or the vehicles, or you put them in deep strike. Yeah. Drop them down 5 inches away and melter one thing to death instantaneously.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, Scions got play. They're not an easy army to play because everything that you do dies once it's done its job.
Yeah, it's like playing. It's like playing Drakari, but slower and shitty.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, Scion's cool. Nothing else in the data set that I can think of that's worth talking about. To be perfectly honest,
the models are cool. I think that's the best part about Scions.
Yeah.
They have really cool looking models.
Yeah, they are pretty rad. Only other thing to talk about is the missions, I guess.
Yeah, we can go through the missions.
Not missions, sorry, secondaries.
I was going to say.
Secondaries. I keep saying missions when I mean secondaries. Yeah. Fuck tons of new secondaries. Sisters no longer have to interact with their opponent. They can score all of their secondaries without actually playing against anyone.
Hell yeah, brother.
They just have to, spend miracle dice. And that's it, pretty much. They just walk around and ignore you for the entire game if they wanted to.
It's awesome.
A lot of nerfs. So the Dark Angels, Stubborn Defiance got nerfed, so it's no longer the one in deployment zone. It has to be in no man's land. So it's still the same, but they actually have to fucking walk forward, which is nice.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's I don't know. It's pretty hard, man.
Yep. Imagine only being able to move 5 inches as Dark Angels and having to take an objective in no man's land and not being able to do it turn 1.
Oh, it's hard.
Oh, feel so sorry for them.
It's a hard game, dude.
Fuck those Dark Angels. Fuck them good. Oath of Moment got nerfed. It's now only 1 point for being in the center.
Yes.
Who else got nerfs to their secondaries? I'm trying to think.
Drakari. So Herd de Prey got nerfed. Pretty pointless now. I think you just take engage on all fronts. But engage on all fronts got nerfed. You have to be now 6 inches away from
every quarter and every edge.
Yeah, every quarter, every edge. So that's pretty awkward. You can't. It becomes a lot harder to just deep strike.
Yeah. In
some units and grab a cheeky engage. Can't just drop on the edges anymore. It's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. Admech ones got nerfed. Eradication of Flesh got nerfed.
Yeah.
Previously required you to kill more non-vehicle units than your opponent kills vehicles.
Yeah.
Which meant that if you don't have vehicles, it's pretty good. Now it requires you to kill more non-vehicles with your vehicles than they kill your vehicles.
So your Iron Striders have to kill and survive.
Yes,
basically.
It's not great.
Yeah.
Besides that, what else changed? The Eldar ones got some slight wording changes.
To the Last and Stranglehold are gone.
Yeah, to the Last.
Titan Slayer is now been rolled into Bring It Down.
Yep. I mean, you kind of always pick Bring It Down over Titan Slayer because they achieved the same thing.
Oh, Psychic Interrogation just got better.
Yeah.
You now get a CP if you exceed their leadership, which... Who was it? Was it you?
Yes, me.
You were regaining fucking CP every turn.
Yeah, with Strands of Fate.
Fucking pretty good. I look forward to doing that with K-Suns.
It's so good.
Yeah. Necron secondaries, absolutely insanely good. Code of Combat now just You can do it in shooting, melee, anything. They're fucking artifacts. It completes at the end of their movement if they have OBSEC, and everyone runs the OBSEC dynasty. So you just get a squad of Tomb Blades, a squad of Scarabs, and whatever else, and you instantly do it 3 times in the first 3 turns and max it out. And their other one, I forget what it does, but it's also pretty fucking good. Custodes got some weird changes to theirs. Might of Terror is still shit. You have to not lose any units for the entire game to max it out, which is impossible. Stand Vigil completes at the end of the battle round, so if you go second, it's great, but if you go first, it's pretty bad.
Still don't think it's that bad.
If you go first, your opponent just says, "Oh, okay, so I just need to kill you off that one objective," and you don't score.
Yeah, it just means you can look at it this way, right? It means that they have to overcommit,
I guess,
to one side.
but you also have to overcommit on 2 objectives.
I think you'd be doing that anyway, right?
Yeah. So, it just means you don't move out though. It means you're stapled to these 2 objectives the entire game, and you kind of do want to move out with your dreadnoughts.
I mean, Custodes kind of always did that anyway, right? Because you would play Stranglehold beforehand.
Yeah. And their Auric Mortalis got very slightly better. They don't lose 2 VP for every unit that So their secondary was you pick the most expensive model or their Supreme Commander, and you have to A, kill it for 5 points, B, kill it in melee for 5 points, and C, kill it in melee at least 6 inches outside your deployment zone for the other 5. But you lost 2 victory points for every unit that model killed. So against Chaos Knights or Mortarion or, the fucking Nightbringer or the Silent King, whatever.
Just bad.
It's just bad. But now you don't lose the points, but killing it outside of your deployment zone can be tricky. If it's like, Dante or something.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be in your deployment zone.
It's not great.
It's just poopy. Custodians don't really have any secondaries they can pick now. I think they have to take Stand Vigil. I don't think they have a choice. I think they just have to take it.
Yeah, it's not the worst choice.
And then for the other 2 that they pick, I just don't know. Kill more, maybe.
Kill more is valid. I think Banners and
Banners is okay. It got buffed before this happened. Banners got buffed so that you can raise them even if the enemy's on them, just as long as you control the objective.
Yeah. I think Engage on All Fronts has a bit more play on them now. Because if you lose 1 bike from unit of 3, you still score it.
Oh, yes. Yeah. You still do engage with a 3-unit model, even if those units die. As long as their starting strength is 3, they still do it. Trying to think of anything else that was vaguely interesting secondary-wise.
Not much.
After our game on Saturday, Chaos Space Marine secondaries, the Khorne one, really good. Love the Khorne one. Pick an enemy character, any enemy character, and you pick your own, and you've got to kill them in melee. It's an easy 10 points in my opinion, because you're just going to kill them in melee anyway. It's the last 5 points which are tricky, getting your character to kill it. But if you, as long as you're scoring 10, it's fine. Beseech the Dark Gods, fucking trash. But better, the Long War. I liked the Long War because it was literally play the game.
Yeah, those are the best kind of secondaries.
Yeah, it was killing an enemy off an objective for a point, and then you get an extra 2 points if you hold it with Heretic Astartes, which is exactly what CSM wants to do. Melee you off a point and hold it. So that's fine. It's just going to be a case of picking a nice third secondary that you picks your choose.
Yeah, I think R&D, Banners, etc. still valid.
And Word Bearers have that wacky one that they can do in the center of the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Warp Ritual, but better.
Yeah, in every way, especially with Liber Hereticus, because it means they can regen a CP every time they do it, which is a bit silly.
We do like that.
Yeah. Other than that, that was it. Can't think of anything
It's the
else.
way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, lots of weird and wonderful changes. I'm gonna try and get some games in with K-Sons over the next week. I'll be playing K-Sons next Wednesday on the channel. Their debut against what we do not know.
Debut.
Yeah, debut. Someone's gonna get it in debut.
From Thousands.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I just need to get games in with K-Sons. Just a fucking shitload of games. Just as many as humanly possible, ready for the GT or Open or whatever it is at the end of July.
Beast in the East Midlands.
We'll be playing the Beast in the East mission pack in the lead up to the event on the channel on Wednesdays. So you'll see some of the missions and the terrain layouts. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Unless you have anything else to add.
No, I think the only thing is, I guess, I don't know, like a summary, or should I say a conclusion? I think overall the changes are pretty good.
Yes. I think the only thing that they fucked up on was Sisters.
Yes.
And just give Chaos Demons something.
You know, fuck Chaos. I don't even care about Chaos Demons. Like I said, I feel like they just given up on the faction.
Yeah.
But like Gene Stealer codes, come on.
It's a new fucking codex as well, and they're so hard to play.
They just literally didn't. They released their codex and just ignored.
They're like mobile game developers. Like they developed this game and they're like, oh, it's out now. We don't have to do anything ever again and never support it. That's it. It's done. Fuck off. Move on to the next project.
Hell yeah.
And the people that are like playing the game and really into it, there's like 12 of them. Only 12 people that love it, and they're like, "There's this bug, guys. Can you fix it, guys? Anybody there?"
Sorry, I can't hear you over the deafening sound of Space Marine.
yeah. Over the deafening sound of point reductions for every Necron unit in the entire codex. Fucking correct. Anyway, we'll see you guys next Wednesday for our battle report at 7 p.m. and for our podcast next Sunday at 7 p.m. as well. That's it. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you.